Hello and good morning. So I wanted to make a quick video to explain the 6 poisons of yoga. So this is the 6 things that can corrupt your practice. And I heard a great definition of yoga the other day, and yoga is the path of self-mastery. It's one of the only systems, studies, or sciences on the planet that addresses all the dimensions of the human being. It addresses the physical dimension of the human being through asanas, through diet regulation, through breath training. It helps us regulate the mental and emotional bodies through breath training, through meditation, through observation. We learn about the nature of the mind and the nature of the emotional body as well. So when we better understand that, it's just so much easier to manage and deal with the mind. And we also learn to address the spiritual dimension, self-observation, scripture, meditation, and so forth. So, we've got some Thai announcement. I'm not sure if you can hear this. I'll keep going. So there's 6 poisons that can corrupt your yoga practice. The first one is overeating. So the yogi is trained or learns to regulate the tongue and only eats to about 80% full. So if you ever feel like you're really full, you've eaten too much. We also find this in Chinese medicine, is if you eat too much, it actually stretches the organs, like the stomach tissue gets stretched, and it creates a lot of stress on the organs, and it's very damaging for the organ system. So this thing I've been practicing recently is that when I eat according to my body. I don't eat according to the plate. So regardless of how much food is on the plate, don't eat according to that. Only eat according to when you reach your capacity. The second one is overexertion. So if you're doing yoga asana practices and at the end of classes you're exhausted and you're really wiped out, you've done it way too hard. If you're working 12, 13, 14 hours a day and you're just collapsing at the end of the day, that's too much. So it's with everything as well. So if you're partying too hard and you're collapsing at the end of this, you're going too hard. Ideally, you engage with life, all the various elements in life, from work to exercise, in a way that is kind of the middle path. And this allows you sustainability and longevity and reservation of energy. So that's the second one, overexertion. The third one is talking too much. When we talk too much, there's a tendency that you'll start complaining a lot. And what I feel is that if you're complaining, it's already a sign you've been talking for too long. So it's also learning about to regulate your tongue and not to spread poison with your words. It also teaches us to be very clear and concise and thoughtful of what words you choose to use. The other thing about learning how not to talk too much is that you're conserving energy. You can lose a lot of energy from talking and thinking. Thinking too much actually ages you quickly. Talking too much ages you quickly. I think there's a quote, Lao Tzu says, "Those who talk loudest are sooner exhausted." So I find there we go, I'm back. So number 4 is, I like this one, avoid following too many rules. So this, if you're governed by rules, it's more like that you're governed by your cultural pressure, social pressure, parental pressure. They're creating all this regulation, and there's a lack of internal awareness or intelligence to help govern you and your lifestyle. So it's if you're too lazy, however, it's good to have rules to get you going, but not too many rules that you become rigid. So this is about learning how to listen to your internal intelligence rather than being governed by too many rules in the exterior world or from culture. There's a great story about someone comes to the Buddha and asks him, how to meditate. And the person who asked was a musician. And the Buddha looked at the musician and said, well, how do you tune your instrument? And the musician said, not too tight, not too loose. And then the Buddha said, well, that's how you meditate. So this is encouraging the middle path. Not too tight, not too rigid, but also not too lazy. You can't be too lazy and just go for comfort all the time. There has to be some discipline, but not so much discipline that you just become so tight. So that's that. Number 5 is avoid fickleness, a wavering mind, and laziness. So this is to do with allowing your mind to just flap in the wind all the time and following it wherever it goes. Changing your mind too often, being undecisive. This is a waste of energy. So the yoga is training you to be focused, to be consistent in practice, to be consistent with mind. So avoid being too fickle, being too wavering. And I'll leave it at that. So number 6 is, this is the last one, 6 poison, surrounding yourself with the wrong people and the wrong environments. So with this one, I don't think it's about blaming other people for your situation or the way you feel. It's really you who made the decisions to put yourself in that situation in the first place. So it's your decision-making processes that has brought you to unhealthy, unsupportive environments and people that aren't supporting or aligned with where you want to go with yourself. So choosing environments that nourish you, choosing people that nourish you, and avoiding the others. It also means not to be running away from life. A lot of people sort of think, I can't live in a city, or I can't do this, and they just want to retreat to the forest and then they think that they will be okay. But that might help for a short term, but you're going to have to somehow learn to deal with living with other people and living in different environments. You can't always run away. So it's more about becoming aware and learning how to manage your energies this way. So that's it. That's the 6 poisons of yoga. The first one is not overeating. The second one is overexertion, so going too hard. Number 3 is talking too much. Number 4 is avoid following too many rules. 5 is avoid a fickleness, wavering mind, and laziness. And number 6 is avoiding, putting yourself in environments that aren't nourishing to you. So that's it. I hope that's helpful. If you've got any questions, let me know, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.